2, 1. BackHo getting backdoor time. July versus BackHo. This is on Troy, and just looking at the colors, BackHo is white again. And that's good for him, I suppose, since he's got white in his name, but he lost last time with white. So this is Troy. This is really his last bastion. Again, this is supposed to be a map that really helps Protoss players a lot. We've seen some innovative builds on this map, I think, from Luxury versus Flash. That was very innovative. It'll be interesting to see if July tries something like that. I don't know if it's such a good strategy against Protoss because of Protoss's air superiority and maneuverability around the map with Corsair Reavers. I'm not sure if it would be a great idea to try that sort of strategy. So I think if BackHo can't take this game against July, he really should go and bury himself in some back alley somewhere, because he really just doesn't belong at this level of StarCraft if he cannot take this game. So this is everything is on the line. He's got to pull out all the stops. He's got to show what he's made of. This is his chance to prove himself. Looks like he's going for the exact same strategy he's gone for in game 1 and 2, putting the pylon down just north of his simulators at his natural expo. Again, for clarity, BackHo starting at the 5 o'clock position, July at the 1 o'clock position, and I think we've got a good game. And July with the sniper rifle, I think that's a fitting picture.
Those of you watching this on YouTube later, my screen just popped up a thing that said, "You're running low on battery power." So that's what that little pop-up was for a moment there on the screen. BackHo putting down a gateway first. This is very interesting. I wonder if he's going to go... He's hovering his... Oh, let's see if he puts down a forge, or if he maybe goes suicidal and goes for like a 2-gateway build or something like that. He stopped building probes. He has stopped building probes. I don't think he's pylon blocked. Yes, he is going for the 2 gateways. He's saving up for the 2nd gateway. This is absolutely ridiculous. And, oh man, July has gone for a 12 pool. I think BackHo was hoping he could catch July off guard with a 2-gate build. And if July went for a 12 hatchery, then that would be trouble. And July instead has gone for a 12 pool, so he's going to have the Zerglings out to deal with this. It is going to come down to some micro on both of their parts, but I think JulyZerg has shown that he's definitely going to have the micro for this. And now he sees that Overlord coming in, so he knows where July is. He's going to move his probe up there next. But July critically is not going to have a scout on BackHo, so the one thing that I think could go wrong is if July doesn't know this is coming, he might assume that it's normal and not get enough Zerglings out ahead of time if BackHo maybe delays his Zealots, although I don't think that will happen. Usually Protoss players will send their Zealots pretty quickly, and there's a really old picture of JulyZerg, I think from his win in the Gillette OSL, I think that was. And so anyway, JulyZerg now producing Zerglings, so he does have some Zerglings out. This does bode well for July. I think this is looking very, very bad for BackHo so far.
Yeah, BackHo committing himself to this all-in strategy. I wonder if he was going to try and maybe seal off the assimilators early on and really trap July in and then kill the hatchery, or what he was planning to do. He's got about 3 Zealots in the middle now, and July, as you can see, July sending those Zerglings straight away cross map because he could see the position of the probe with his Overlord, and from that he guessed BackHo's starting position, and he's seen the 3 Zealots. He's got to know that BackHo's got 2 gateways. He's got another 4 Zerglings. He's putting up a 3rd hatchery, so July's just going to go mass lings here. He's also taking an extractor. I'm not sure if that's such a good idea for him right now. He should just be focusing on Zerglings, but I suppose he doesn't want to completely gimp himself. He's also got a couple. He's straight away starting a creep colony with one of his drones, and it's just a matter of him keeping that sunken colony alive. BackHo hammering away with 3 Zealots. I wonder why July took so long to put his Zerglings back, but now he's got a surround on those 3 Zealots, and BackHo's not really going to be able to micro them too well. BackHo does have a probe as well in order to back them up, and July's lost most of his Zerglings. This is horrible for July. July's in huge trouble now. He's trying to get a second sunken up. One of the creep colonies dies just as soon as it comes up, and actually I think that... Okay, that's ridiculous. Whoever's doing that is an asshole and an idiot. But July is in huge trouble here because BackHo's got 4 Zealots along with a probe. July's not even going to be able to get the sunken up, and I think BackHo's actually going to take this game now because July lost all of his Zerglings to BackHo's advancing forces, to BackHo's reinforcements. So BackHo's not going to be able to take this hatchery down, and July has got nothing. He cancelled the 3rd hatchery. Was a really bad idea from July once he saw those Zealots. Maybe he didn't anticipate exactly the extent of what he was up against. We thought he did, but he clearly hadn't. July continued to fight on though. He's trying to get another sunken down. He's managed to limit the number of Zealots BackHo has. BackHo's obviously got more reinforcements streaming in. BackHo doing a decent job of micro, but he's just built up a critical mass now, and I think this game is GG.
Yeah, it doesn't look... yeah, and July actually GG's there right off, and having lost his hatchery, basically control of the hatchery outside of his base. So, wow, I completely underestimated BackHo's, the amount of forces he was going to pump out, basically. I guess I also underestimated July's ability to put out Zerglings. And I think it looked like BackHo did delay until he had 3 zealots out. I'm not sure if that made a difference or not, but he didn't actually attack until he had those 3 zealots. I think if he'd attacked with the 1 at first, JulyZerg would have had time to put down the Sunken and what have you, and things would have been a little bit different. So it's kind of unfortunate, I guess, that things worked out that way. But you gotta hand it to BackHo. He did pull that off pretty well, and he did micro decently well. So not too bad on his part.
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple of things that BackHo did right there. First of all, he kept his zealots together. So I don't think July put his creep colony down as soon as he had the creep around his hatchery. So as soon as his hatchery popped and the creep extended, he put the creep colony down. But he wasn't able to actually get it up because BackHo had the 3 zealots and the probe. The other thing that BackHo did well was by not sending a single zealot up, the single zealot would have been isolated and killed by July's 6 Zerglings. So therefore, he kept a massive he kept the maximum force together and was able to use that against July's forces. The other thing that he did was July trying to get the scout in. I think July ran his 6 Zerglings past BackHo's 3 zealots in the middle, and I think July was hoping to get some kind of counter-attack going, but unfortunately for him, those Zerglings ran into BackHo's reinforcements from the 2 gateways, and they died because July's reinforcements never really arrived, because I thought July would have had at least 10 Zerglings to BackHo's 3 zealots, because he produced the 6 initially, and then he produced 2 more, so that really should have been enough, but it seemed like he, at any one time, only had 4 or 5 Zerglings fighting those 5 zealots, fighting those 3 zealots, and from that point on, it was always July's game to lose. You've got to give credit to BackHo for the way that he won the game, but at the same time, he hasn't beaten July in a straight-up game yet. That was a cheese build that he caught July off guard with, and July this time, not scouting with the drone. That's the one thing he's done differently this time. He didn't send the early drone scout. I think he anticipated that since BackHo has been playing so conventionally so far in the previous 2 games, fast expanding, each time he anticipated BackHo would try something similar again, and he was completely caught off guard by that, but I don't think it's going to happen a second time. But anyway, GG.
I've got to interrupt you here, but because I'm at 1% battery power, so I've got to stop recording now. This is Moltrap signing off for the moment.